The Holdovers is directed by Alexander Payne and stars Paul Giamatti. This is Payne's first film in 6 years, his last movie being Downsizing. And it's about a cranky history teacher at a remote prep school who's forced to remain on campus over the holidays with a troubled student who has no place to go. You know how sometimes you see a movie and its aura, its feel, its tone, the environment, the characters, the whole look of it, just you don't want to leave it. You want to bask in it. In every way, The Holdovers was that for me. This movie felt so good and warm and inviting, and I felt so embraced by it, even though Alexander Payne in a recent interview has said that he is, quote, nauseated by some of those reactions. Look, man, you made a Christmas movie that's making people feel good. You're going to have to deal with it, unfortunately. I've loved Paul Giamatti ever since I really first took notice of him, which I believe was probably The Negotiator. I saw that movie on TV when I was a kid, and I thought he was great in it. And of course, over the years, movies like Cinderella Man and Lady in the Water, a film that he is great in, by the way. He slowly became one of my favorite actors, and he's given tons of amazing performances in an Alexander Payne film as well, called Sideways, but I do think that this is my favorite performance I've ever seen from him. Horrifyingly, I saw a lot of myself in this man. I don't know what the fuck that means. It really scares me, though. He's one of those older guys who kind of grumbles about everything, and kids do this, and whippersnappers, and how can they possibly think this is right, and why doesn't anyone know about the Roman Empire? Giamatti is so terrific in this movie, and if there is any justice, he will certainly be nominated for an Oscar and potentially even win. He is just absolutely wonderful, and despite how much I love him as an actor, he really does disappear into this role, and I did not think of myself as watching Paul Giamatti in any way. I saw this man who has a very rich backstory, a history that unfolds across the movie, and there's a lot of things that seem to be suggested as well if you read into the subtext of his character and his performance that the movie doesn't really touch on, but you glean a lot from it anyway because of his actions and the way he interacts with students, as well as the faculty, especially in the scenes he shares with Davine Joy Randolph. She plays one of two other faculty members who also stay behind over winter break, the other being a custodian. She's the chef of the school, and she prepares all of the meals that they eat over the course of the winter break. Her character is dealing with an awful loss that informs her actions, but also her reactions to people, and you can constantly see it in her eyes when she's talking to people that there's this extreme hidden pain there. She too, like Giamatti, I could see her securing a Best Supporting Actress nomination. Let's talk about Dominic Sessa, who plays the main student left behind over winter break. This is his first credited feature film role. He's done things in theater before this, and he has a massive challenge on his shoulders because his character could be described as a little snot-nosed brat who has a unique combination of entitlement in life, but also has experienced severe abandonment from his family. He is alone on Christmas and is spending it at school with a couple faculty members because his family has other things to do. So obviously, he's not had the best life, but somehow he has worked that into his brain to allow himself to sort of present as entitled. And even though he's not really, like he's had a rough go of it, and he's built this wall around him as a result of this upbringing that sometimes comes off rather difficult to like. But Dominic Sessa is great because every single scene where you would think that this guy shouldn't be redeemed, he brings the humanity of that character to life by his performance. And the interactions with him and Paul Giamatti are this film's heart and soul. These scenes where these two characters that at first hate each other, but eventually come to find joy in being around one another, are the best scenes in the film. Also, the film looks truly incredible, and there's a real attempt here to make it look like it was shot on film. It wasn't, it was shot digitally, but even the trailer is old-fashioned. The movie begins with a card that says this motion picture has been rated R. They really went out of their way to add everything that a movie shot on film and even projected on film would have, even including things like gate weave. And I definitely cried at the end of the movie. It really struck a chord with me. And as I said earlier, Alexander Payne has done an interview stating that he doesn't really understand that people are saying this could become a Christmas classic, that people watch with their families, that it made them feel good. When you make a movie like 20 times. You write the movie, you shoot the movie, you edit the movie, you get sound, you get score, and the movie keeps changing, and the final time the movie changes is when the audience sees it and then tells you what movie you just made. You might have made a certain movie, the audience might see another movie. Whatever movie Alexander Payne saw, he made a damn good one. But myself and many others are seeing a very warm-hearted, lovely Christmas movie that's making a lot of people feel good. And that's okay, man. I love this movie. If you can't tell, it's one of my favorites of the year. I think you gotta go see it right now if you can. Thank you guys as always so much for watching, and if you like this, you can click right here and get Stuckmanized.